Jesus says, love the Lord your God and love your neighbor as yourself. In English, we have a little bit of a struggle because love is a very flexible word for us. I can love pizza, and I can love walks on the beach, and I can love my wife, and those things are very different, right? In Greek, though, the word love actually had 3 different words that was used to describe it, and because of that, it was a little bit more exact. First, the Greek language has the word eros. This is emotional love. The feeling that you enjoy something. That's kind of what eros was. We get our English word erotic from this, but it wasn't really so much sexual as it was sensual. So it was eros if you felt the warm sun on your skin after a long winter, or eros if you wanted a warm cup of coffee on a cold day. It's eros when you get into your soft bed after a hard day's work. It's eros when you're hugging that special someone. All of that is eros. It's that emotional feeling. That feeling that we think of as erotic love. The second word was philos. You may think of the city in the United States, Philadelphia. It's called the city of brotherly love. Philos was preference in general. So if I prefer this thing, but not to the exclusion of anything else, that was philos. So maybe an easy way to see this would be like how you think about foods, or maybe how you think about your friends. You're allowed to have as many favorite foods as you want. Or you're allowed to have as many favorite people as you want. You prefer them over other people or prefer this over other food, but you're allowed to have as many of those things, preferences, as you'd like. The last then, you've probably heard before if you've been in a Christian church, is agape love. Agape love is preference at the expense of something else. It's preference when there is an exclusivity attached to that preference. So you can have as many friends as you want, that's philos, but you can only have one spouse. You love in a very unique way. You love that woman because she's the one that you've chosen to the exclusion of all other women, or you love that man because he's the one you've chosen to the exclusion of all other men. This last word, agape, is the word that Jesus uses to describe the love that we ought to have for God and for our neighbor. Not love that is preference in general. I like God. I like people. But to choose them at the expense of other things, to choose them above things. And for a moment, it would just be good for us to evaluate all of the love in our life. How often do we actually do this agape love? I think most of our love fits in those first 2 categories, right? What modern culture teaches us is to make yourself exclusive to any one thing, any one person, any one religion. That's thoughtless. And yet Jesus says that's the kind of love that is demanded of his people, for God and for their neighbors. So keep that in the back of your mind. When Jesus says love, that's what he means. Not just to like God or to like your neighbor, but to choose them at the expense of something else in your life. To say, I would like this, but I'm going to choose that.